If you're getting roof replacement leads from Facebook and you're not able to close them, this video will help you close 40%. So every deal closes at the same place, but not every lead starts at the same place. So the certainty scale when it comes to roofing sales, 0 through 10. 0, they have no awareness. They don't know they even need a new roof. They don't know about the company. They don't have any awareness of anything. 3, curious. 5, considering. 7, leaning in. And 10 is when they buy. The deal happens at 10. So how do we get from 0 to 10? Well, it's the same finish line, but we have different starting points based on where you get the lead. For example, door knocking, you have essentially no awareness, no intent, no nothing. On Facebook, they're curious. They do have intent to get the roof replaced, but they don't know you, they don't trust you, they don't like you yet. You need to build that relationship. Versus a referral is basically pre-sold. Somebody already told them that they used you, it was a great experience. There's already a bridge of trust for you to walk across. So if you're not closing 80% of your referrals, you have a sales issue. Closing 80% of your referrals is normal. Facebook leads are harder to close, but way more scalable. Referrals are great, high close rate, but you can't control the volume, and there's a ceiling on your growth if you're relying on referrals. Where with Facebook, you can have unlimited volume year-round, rain or shine, and you can scale Facebook acquisition to over $1 million a month. I have a client currently doing $1 million a month. We get them about 400 appointments per month. It's a scalable channel, but you need a process that closes these leads. So the gap in your sales process, right? The referral gap is very, very short from intro to where they need to be to close. You can have a pretty bad sales guy work a referral lead and still get a close. It's just how it is. Where the Facebook gap requires trust, education, proof, and then a close. The same process won't fill both gaps equally. You need to figure out how to close that gap on Facebook to take them from a 3 to a 10. The gap is closed and certainty is built on 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is trust in you. Pillar number 2 is their understanding, and number 3 is their belief in the solution. Now, all 3 pillars must be high enough for the deal to close. So referrals, they're already pre-sold on most of the pillars. They have high trust in you already. They already understand the problem. And the belief in the solution is really the only thing that needs selling. So great shortcut, not really a complete system. The Facebook lead, they've raised their hand. Now you have to build the certainty. So their trust in you is starting out very low. They don't know you. They didn't have a family member or a friend vouch for you. They probably don't really understand the roofing problem or their needs that much. And they probably don't have high belief in the system right out the bat. So building all 3 of these to a 10 is possible in a single appointment. I have plenty of clients that are closing 30, 40, 50, even 60% of their first sit downs. I've had clients that have done 300K their first month and have closed their first 3 appointments that we put on their calendar because they were so good at this process. So pillar number 1 is trust in you. You got to get this in the first 5 minutes, or at least start building it in the first 5 minutes. You should be asking them questions that make the homeowner think you genuinely care about them, their problems, and the solution. So asking what made them reach out, what made them even interested in getting an estimate. This is a foundational question that you must ask to understand their true intention and meet them where they are. How long have you been in the home? This is a question that's going to build that relationship, seem like you really care about them, their home, right? Have they had any past roofing experiences? Not roofing experience with roofing. Was it good? Was it bad? This is something you need to know. If they had a really shit experience with a roofer in the past, you best believe they're going to be painting you with that same brush unless you figure out what happened and make sure to differentiate yourself. And then what worries do they have about the process? This is very, very, very important. Every homeowner thinks slightly differently. You need to meet them at their level, and you should be listening and asking questions, not pitching first. You need to build their trust before you pitch. Pillar number 2 is making sure they understand the problem. They're not going to buy what they can't see. So when you do your inspection, you hop up on the roof, you should be taking photos, documenting everything, right? And you're going to show them, you're not just going to tell them. So photos, drone footage, walking through every single issue. This is something that all my top clients who close the most do. They have an iPad, they have stuff to show the homeowner, they have footage when they get off the ladder, right? Pillar number 3 is belief in the solution. So you have to anchor the value before the price. If you just price drop without any sort of value, you're going to get I'm going to think about it, I need 3 other quotes, right? You're not going to close that same day. So you need to walk through exactly why you're recommending, what's included, what happens if they wait. Not only that, you need to tie this in to your original questions that you should be asking about what do they value in a roofing process, right? What is an actual job well done for them? How are they determining what solution is good and fits their needs, right? You need to build some urgency as well. What is the cost of waiting? Well, if the decking becomes rotten, if they have leaks coming into their house and it's ruining the insulation, the drywall, it'll be a huge mess that's going to cost them $4,000 to $6,000 just if the decking has wood rot, right? God forbid they actually have water damage inside of the home, right? Also, build the investment. A new roof adds $15,000 to $20,000 in home value. So you need to walk through every dollar, walk through the actual solution, how you guys are going to do it, what the value is to the homeowner before you pitch. So before you close, you should do a temp check and check the pillars, right? Do they trust you? Do they understand the problem, right? Do they understand why should they do this now versus 3 months from now, 6 months from now, right? Do they understand the problem? Do they understand the solution, right? If they're saying, let me think about it, they don't really think that the solution or your solution is a perfect fit for what they need, right? So trust, problem, solution. When certainty is high, the close is natural. Do you feel like this is the right move for you? They'll be like, yes, I do, right? And then when they're ready, have the contract to sign. You sign on the first visit. Do not email them a quote. Don't build up. Don't try to present and then have nothing to actually close on, right? It sounds dumb, I know, but you'd be surprised how many people are doing an inspection for a customer who's ready to move on a new roof, wants and needs a full roof replacement, and is ready for an estimate on that estimate appointment that I scheduled them. And my client leaves and then emails them a quote later. And it's like, okay, now what? Now you're just a number. Now you're just a number in their email, right? You can't handle objections. You can't get a signature. Don't do that. Do not do that. Also, you can use some urgency. Schedules filling up. That's a really commonly used ones. Price increases. That's very commonly used. Storm season's coming. Financing rate is changing, right? Have your contract ready to sign when you go for the close. So if they don't sign, one pillar needs more investment from you, more time, right? So let's say they don't understand the solution that's holding them back. You need to ask them questions. What would make you feel more confident in this? How do you know when a solution is going to be right for you, right? And set specific times to follow up. Make sure you're giving them extra value in your follow-up as well. So every follow-up should raise a pillar. So if they are lacking trust, sending them a selfie video, sending them Google reviews, a testimonial, before and after images, right? If they're not understanding the problem, making sure you're sending them the inspection photos, maybe a few videos or some articles on what's going on, why it's actually a problem, so they know you're not bullshitting them, right? Seeing that issue in their area, anybody else who's in their area who you might have helped with the same issue, having some seasonality warnings, like, hey, we're going to be going into storm season. If you have this leak on your home, it could cost you X, Y, and Z, right? Financing recap for the solution, why they should go with you, something about the financing, before and after jobs nearby, breaking down the value, reiterating the value once again. If it doesn't map to a pillar, don't send it. Hey, just following up. Did you get a chance to look at my quote? Don't do that. They hate it. Everybody hates that, right? Provide some value, nurture them, raise the pillar. When they are ready. Not every deal closes on the first time. That's fine. A lot of people have 4 to 6 week cycles. It doesn't need to be that long. You can condense it by doing this, but keep active with your follow-up. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, you need to be sending a lot of value-based follow-ups. In the first month to 2, consistently have value touches. And then 3 to 6, just periodic check-ins until they say they went with somebody else, right? The contractor who stays persistent, they win the deal. When everybody else has given up and you're still the one sending them value, who do you think they're going to go with, right? Sometimes homeowners get busy. They could have problems with their kids. They could have problems with their work, marriage. You don't know. It might not have anything to do with you or your quote or the roof. They might just, go ghost. Life gets busy, and you send them enough value, and one day, a storm comes through. They notice the leak again. They're like, man, I really got to get that fixed. Let's go with you. Let's go with that guy. He's been sending me things that are valuable nonstop. You're top of mind when they go with you. The deal closes at 9 to 10. Facebook, they're entering in at 2 to 3 most of the time, right? You need to build rapport, educate, value anchor, check the certainty, and close, or follow up based on the 3 pillars. Facebook will give you the volume. This system will give you the close rate. If you want more at-bats with qualified homeowners who are in the market for a roof replacement, absolutely need to get their roof replaced, and are wanting an estimate, I got you. I could place 20, 40, 80, 100, depends on your service area. I got guys doing 300 appointments a month. I got guys doing 20 appointments a month. It really depends on your needs. But what I can tell you is they're pre-qualified. They are pre-booked. They will be there. The homeowner and decision maker will be there. When you're working with me, I work on a performance basis as well. So if they don't show up qualified, I don't get paid. Talk soon.